Hey everyone, welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 225, entitled Mario and the New Horizons. Could maybe be a new musical group out there. I don't know. We'll have fun with that. We're gonna celebrate March 10th. Yeah, it's March 16th right now. But hey, you know what? It was March 10th the other day, Mario Day. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the newest update to Animal Crossing New Horizons that was just discussed and just talked about earlier today. I think it's when they dropped that information. We got a bunch more headlines, things we're gonna run through today. But we just wanted to first of all introduce ourselves, because maybe this is the first time you're checking out the podcast, maybe the first time you're listening, and you're like, who are these guys? What are they talking about? My name is Steve, and I am not alone. You don't have to just listen to me all night. You get to hear Barry as well. Hey Barry, how's it going?
Hi, I'm not sure if that's a positive for the listeners. They might prefer to listen to you all night.
I don't know, or they might prefer to listen to Greg, but unfortunately, Greg couldn't join us tonight, so it is just me and Barry. So maybe that's good, maybe that's not. Probably not, because I enjoy Greg. We enjoy Greg, so we're sad that he's not here with us. So, yep, just us two tonight. But we still got lots to say for sure. So maybe with this extra time, without Greg talking, who knows what's going to come out of our mouths? We'll see.
That's a scary proposition, right there.
I know, right? But. Of course, we are not alone. We have the other piece of our podcast is you, the chat, the live listeners, the live viewers, the people that join us in the live chat. We are so grateful that you guys are able to check us out every week, but also jump in and join in the discussion. And so right now we got Jared and Jakester. I'm sure there's other people in there as well. In fact, I know there's other people in there. They're just not talking yet. But we just absolutely love for you to jump in any of the conversation that we are talking about tonight. Let us know your thoughts. If you're listening or watching after the fact, you can also let us know in the comments, or you can jump on our social media. If you haven't followed us on social media, please do that. We are at NintendoFuse on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You guys can just follow us there. And also, if you haven't done so yet, please join our Discord, because it is a great place. It's a thriving, growing community where we are able to continue this conversation with you guys in between podcasts. Speaking of in between podcasts, we're going to have a little bit longer of a break between this episode and next episode, because we're also going to be taking next week off. A couple of us are traveling. In fact, I think both Greg and I are traveling, so unless Barry just wants to talk at you guys for like an hour or so.
I don't want to torture anybody.
So, we're just going to take next week off, so that means the next podcast will be live recording on March 30th, the day before everything just dies on March 31st. But it will be back on March 30th. If you haven't done so yet, here on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the bell button, hit the subscribe button, all the buttons. If you're on some other podcast app, do all the things there as well, and leave us a positive review. That's just a huge way to help and benefit the podcast. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat already. Looks like is Jared wanting to raffle off all of Greg's stuff?
Yeah, poor Greg. He's not here to defend himself, and they're like vultures. They just want to take all his stuff.
They're already claiming it. Like Jakester claims his Mario Party games. Jared's after all his Zelda stuff. Man, that's
brutal.
That's rough. That's rough.
It shows you. It shows you. People will smile to your face, and the second you turn around, they will shank you from the back, man.
That's true. That's our podcast listeners right there. Oh man, it's going to be a great conversation tonight. Talking a lot about your Mario memories. We're going to get into that in just a bit, but I do want to let you guys know that is where we're going to go pretty early on in the podcast tonight. Kind of thinking about some memories of our time with Mario and Mario games, Mario stuff. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but be thinking about some of your memories as well, and throw those in the chat, throw those in the comments. We'd love to read those along with telling you all about ours. So before we jump into any of that and the news, Barry, what have you been up to? What have you been playing over this last week?
Yeah, this week, like the previous week, has been 90% Bravely Default 2. Game is phenomenal and big, and I'm happily able to say I did complete it. It's got the true ending because Bravely games always like to throw some curveballs. I did not finish everything. I was like, oh, I'm going to master all the jobs, and I didn't. And I got addicted to the card game for a bit because there's a card game in there. And it got to the point where I hit a certain time and I was like, you know what? I just kind of want to finish it at this point. Not that it overstayed its welcome, but I was ready to move on. But there's so much content. And I will say, I absolutely enjoyed it, but I am a little disappointed in the ending. I feel like they could have done something more, and I feel like I'm spoiled by not only other RPGs like the Xenoblade series, but the other Bravely games, where they always tease. Bravely Default 1 had a post-credit scene that led into Bravely Second, and Bravely Second had a post-credit scene that didn't lead into Bravely Third because we never got Bravely Third. We got Bravely Default 2. So maybe they're like, oh, we don't want to wrap it up that way. We want to make it all perfect, but they left breadcrumbs throughout the entire game. Like, oh, this is going to build to something bigger. Like, what are you doing here? How is this going to work? And then I felt like there was just no payoff. And I've talked with other people, and they're like, yeah, in certain aspects there was no payoff to only those aspects. And maybe I was overthinking it or expected more, but overall, phenomenal game, and definitely recommend it for RPG lovers. And if you like the original Bravely Default and Bravely Second, for sure, play those. Or play this one too.
That's cool.
Also Animal Crossing. I did the Shamrock stuff. I got all the 3 items you can order for St. Patty's Day, and I got the new recipe, the Shamrock Wand, which once again comes from balloons, because let's not be original. And of course, still ordering some extra Mario stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I've got like a bunch of coins now, so who knows? Maybe I'll just litter coins all throughout my island like a Pac-Man maze. I could do it, so why not? Also played a little Robot Named Fight, which is it's a roguelike game, but it's like Metroid, not Metroidvania. It's like Metroid, and it is a Metroidvania game. It's very good. 2D, side-scrolling, very action-heavy, and it has one thing that I do like in roguelikes, where you actually get stuff as you progress, and then when your next turn you actually can continue and a little bit stronger. So I do like that. Another roguelike I did also play was Demon's Tier Plus, and that one's like a twin stick shooter kind of roguelike, very much like Gauntlet. It's also very cool. Again, it's one of those where you have to leave. You're going down a dungeon, and every time it's random dungeon and random objectives you have to do, like kill an enemy or open all the chests or something, and you're timed. But it's one of those where you have to go back to the town to put stuff, into a bank so you don't lose it if you die, and your hearts don't refill between levels. So if you barely beat a boss and you're like half a heart left, you're going to the next floor with half a heart. So I was like, oh crap. So there's definitely some strategy there, but again, it's another really cool game. And then another one I picked up to give a try to is a game called Cathedral, which is another Metroidvania 2D, not a roguelike. This one saves your progress with checkpoints. It's like Shovel Knight in a sense. Like when you die, you lose 10% of your gold, except unlike Shovel Knight, you can't get back to where you died and get that gold. But it's really cool in the sense that you have those type of progressions where you get different abilities, and those abilities help unlock things. Like you get like a crossbow for your arm, and then you can use that to shoot switches. And there's a lot of like
Nintendo
really
switches?
Yes, shoot Nintendo switches. Like really clever. It's like a mixture of puzzle platforming, like the Mario levels where you have to do like the P blocks, where it's like switches between red and blue, Also a little DuckTales because you can jump and bounce with your sword, like coming down. Really, really fun game. Took me by surprise and absolutely loved it. For when I played, I didn't finish them. On the PC, I'm still doing Final Fantasy 14, though not as much this week because of Bravely. It was just one of those where it's like, I was so involved in that story and engrossed in that story. I just wanted to keep going. And mobile, Dragalia Lost just added brand new content that I'm starting to farm and having a blast with that. And Mario Kart Tour, I'm telling you, it is getting tough. I don't know what it is with the competition, but it is getting tough. And some of these changes that they're doing, I understand why they did. I'm not totally feeling, and it's more like the completionist in me. Like you have to try and get through the 12 cups that are there every 2 weeks. You have to try to get a total of 600,000 points to get like the top rewards, which I did the past 2 weeks, but now like this is the start of the second week and I'm like nowhere close to it. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I had to like grind some, like what you had to do if you're playing that game, you have to grind like the tournament cup and try to get the best score. Now it's like you have to grind all the cups, and it's like I don't know how I'm feeling about this. This is a lot more work to a game that I just play like at night more casually, and I can totally not do it. It's not forced, but it's also like I feel like I'm missing out. Like I'm losing things I should get because these are for free.
The FOMO is officially kicked in.
The FOMO has absolutely kicked in. But yeah, that's what I've been playing this week.
Nice. Greg has actually listed what he's been playing, so I'm just going to run through his list real quick, just like acting like he's in the chat room. So he said he's been playing Pokemon Sword and Let's Go Eevee, both of those. So continuing on he's been playing that, and it looks like Pokemon Go. He's went back to Pokemon Go, so lots of Pokemon in Greg's world recently. Also some Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem Heroes, which doesn't surprise me at all. So yeah, sounds like he's had a lot of fun. It's fun to see Greg like playing a lot of Pokemon recently. It's just like he left it out of his life for so long, and now like all 25 years in 1 month.
Yeah. Well, why not? It's the 25th anniversary.
Looks like Jakester said he got to play Tales of Vesperia again. Got beat by the final boss's true form and played Genshin and FGO. And then Jared says he's been playing Animal Crossing, Pokemon Go, Mario Kart Tour, and Mario Run. Nice. And just racking up his My Nintendo coins. And Jakester also said that Genshin just got into updates today, but hasn't tried it out just yet. So yeah, if you haven't told us what you're playing yet, make sure you do that in the chat or in the comments later. I have been playing Rocket League, of course, all exclusively on Xbox now. It's really almost next to impossible to go back to Switch now. I forgot. I haven't talked about this yet, but a couple weeks ago when I made that switch, I totally forgot that it is an HDR now on Xbox and PlayStation, and so yeah, it looks really nice, and so it's really, really difficult to go back. It's not only in 4K, it's in 4K HDR. So I don't have 120 frames per second or anything like that on my Xbox, but it's a solid 60, and it looks really nice, and there's less lag, like latency on the controller with the Xbox. So that's a big plus as well. Played a little bit of Animal Crossing, really just to log in and get some more Mario stuff. I'll probably be playing a little bit more of that soon with this latest update when that drops, so we'll talk about it in just a little bit. And was going to play Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but after the podcast last week, we got chatting, and told these guys that I've realized that I have Bloodstained Curse of the Moon on Xbox. Somehow I think I got it through Xbox Gold or something like that, and totally forgot that I owned it. And I know both Greg and Barry liked it, and so I started the game last week after the podcast and Haven't completed it yet, but I'm really, really close. Just been playing like 1 or 2 levels like every couple days, and enjoying it. I'm playing on casual because I was just like, I want to experience this. And some things are still kind of difficult. There's pieces of the game that I just don't quite understand. Like, and it might just be because I'm playing on casual, but like after. There's certain things that I just do stupidly. Like maybe I just jumped off a cliff on accident. Didn't realize there was a gap in the platform or something like that. And there I go. And I lost my favorite character that I'm playing with. If I want them back, I just kill them all. And then I just pop like all of them are back together. So I just waste some time like going and killing the rest of the characters. And all of a sudden they're all the way back. Like that just seems silly a little bit. I don't know why, like what they could have done better, but it just seems like why make them go away if all you got to do is just kill all the rest of the characters and then they're all back again. Like just
I did the same thing. So you're not alone, but on the harder difficulties you can't just do that. Like lives are more precious, so you have to appreciate it a little more. But on casual, I did the same thing. I
figured it was something to do with casual, and like at that point I'm like, well, why? Like if it's casual, just make them stay around. But I found myself like playing with basically just the girl with the whip. I forget her name, but like that's the one I'm playing with most of the time. And then occasionally I'll switch to the Dracula guy. I don't remember any of their names, but that guy. But the rest of them, the original guy, the only benefit he has is occasionally his special weapon, but he just has more life than anybody else. And then I switched to the other characters mostly just to get to use their special abilities, do that thing, and then I'll switch right back to the girl with the whip. Like that's been my style of play. I don't know if that's normal, but that's just basically how I've been playing through.
Nothing wrong with that. Are you enjoying yourself though?
It's been pretty fun. Yeah, I think. I keep going back for it. And I complete a couple stages and stuff. I still don't understand the layout, the level layout just yet. It seems like there's multiple ways to get where you're supposed to go, but do they all end up in the same place? Or
yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
They just have different treasures and different difficulties. So like if you could take one path where it'd be a little easier, but if you got characters dead or you don't have that ability, then you have to take a little longer, harder path.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like Sonic meets Metroid or Castlevania. Yeah. So okay. But yeah, there's more confusing. And when I pause the game, it says something about turn on Curse of the Moon or something like that. What is that? It doesn't explain it.
Oh, let me try and think here. It's something like crazy. I think it's one of those traps where you don't want to do it.
Okay. Because I haven't yet. I'm like, I don't know if that's good or not. Like, I thought.
So the option is, that's right. It turns back in time. It lets you go back in time.
Oh.
And choose another like you can go back to an old level, but I think it's not like you can jump forward. So like, hey, I want to go back to the first level and do some stuff in this playthrough. You can do that, but then you have to go from stage 1 onward.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what
cool.
It was. So it wasn't too bad, but it gives you options.
Nice. All right. Maybe I'll check it out later at some point once I finish it. Yeah, I think I only have like 1 level left, maybe 2. But yeah, there was like a difficulty ramp all of a sudden when I get to like the 5th boss. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot more harder than the last ones. But then it kind of leveled off again, and so like the last couple have been totally fine. Although I did get killed pretty quickly by the very first boss, and Greg and Barry witnessed that because I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do, and then all of a sudden it was like, I get it. Okay, now going back to the chat, it looks like Jesse Glenn said he just started Little Nightmares and really enjoying it as well, and now everybody's talking about pizza and food, and apparently you're gonna order a pizza, Barry.
Well, Jesse said to me that if I ordered pizza, he would get it to me in 30 to 45 minutes. And while I wouldn't normally order pizza from Domino's because I'm a pizza snob here in Jersey, but I'm tempted to see if he could do it in 30 to 45 minutes, and would my pizza be free if he doesn't do it?
Nice, nice. Oh, I see later on. There it is. He's currently delivering. So there we go. Okay, that's cool. All right, so I think it's time to move into our main discussion tonight. March 10th was 6 days ago, if I'm doing my math correctly. 5 days, 6 days ago, and that was known as Mario Day. So Mario Day is officially already gone this year, but in honor of Mario Day, we thought we would just share some of our memories with Mario. That may be some game related stuff, that may be other related to other elements of the Mario franchise, things like that. So Barry, how about you go first? And we each got 3 memories, so that we're going to share and talk about tonight, and just kind of reminisce a little bit, and then we'll refer to you guys in the chat room as well. So if you guys have some Mario memories, some of your favorite Mario memories, you guys can throw those in the chat as well. Barry, not Mary. Mario and Barry together. That's Mary. Barry, let's kick us off.
Wow. So to preface this, I specifically, I was the one who suggested Mario memories, and then I said to Steve, "Is this what we're doing?" And Steve's like, "No, just general gaming memories." I was like, "Okay, so I'm thinking general gaming memories." And now he's like, "Oh no, now it's Mario memories." And I'm like, "Really?
Wait, when did
Really?
I do that? I don't remember that.
Yeah, you did that. See, Steve. All right, so I'm gonna say the first one I could think of that really just captures my heart for Mario was the first time I saw Super Mario Brothers. And this was not my introduction to Mario. I did have Donkey Kong and I did have Mario Brothers on the Atari, because back then they did, with Coleco and stuff, put out Donkey Kong and Mario Brothers on other systems. So I knew who the character was, and I enjoyed both of those games. And Donkey Kong Jr. as well was there, where Mario was a villain. But the first time I went to a friend's house, because I didn't have an NES, I grew up with Atari, the 8-bit computers, and I grew up with Commodore 128. And I saw this for the first time, and I was just blown away, because it was so colorful and so, inviting. And that's not to say that, there weren't fantastic platformers and stuff on the Atari, because there were. Miner 2049er comes to mind, and one of my favorites, Hall of the Mountain King, where your character is a stick figure, but it was phenomenal, and I absolutely loved that. To see a character as detailed as Mario and a world that was as detailed as Mario, it just blew me away, and I just wanted to play it. And because I didn't have an NES, it just made me want to play it more, because my time with the game was limited. Now, if I had owned it, I probably would have finished it and not played it again. But because I didn't have it, anytime I went to a friend's house that had an NES, I would absolutely play that game. And one time, even, I was on a camping trip with my uncle, and we went to the campground. There was the little arcade there, and they had one of the Mario arcades, one of the Play Choice. And I played Mario Super Mario 1 on an arcade. Like, I would never do that now because I've played it 100 times, but it just captivated me. And it was just so magical. And with the first time I finally, beat the game, it was incredible. And the only way I beat the game the first time was using the famous warps in 1-2 and 4-2, which were shown to me by older kids who had discovered this, because, again, there's no internet at this point. So it was all word of mouth. So it was like, "Hey, kid, you want to see something really cool?" And of course, yeah, absolutely, sure. It was a big deal. So right from the start, it just captured me. I mean, I was young. I was, 3 years old, 4 years old at that time. So it definitely left a lasting impact, which is still there today.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to go with a memory that I know a lot of people would say I'm crazy for talking about, and that's the Super Mario Brothers movie. I know it is not a good movie, but as a little kid, like seeing a video game movie, I knew that it was weird, but I loved it. Like I saw it multiple times in the theater, and I remember thinking it was really strange, and I didn't quite understand what was going on. But at the same time, like there were Mario Brothers on the big screen in live action, and it was funny, and it was entertaining, and I know it's not a good movie, but it's still funny and entertaining, and I loved being able to see these characters that I really enjoyed playing as, in video games. I think it was probably the first time. Like I can't remember. Do you know, Barry? Did Ninja Turtles or Mario Brothers came out first? I should have looked this up in terms of movies. I think it was Ninja Turtles, but I don't know for sure. But either way, you can maybe look it up real quick, or maybe the chat will let me know. But either way, it was so cool because it was one of the first times that I remember as a young kid seeing characters that I loved reading about or playing as in video games and cartoons and everything, and then coming to like live action. And so even though it was awful, I still absolutely loved watching it over and over and over again. And yeah, it actually probably it wasn't probably until my adult life where I realized that people didn't really enjoy it as much as I did. But now it's got a cult following, so oh well. I'm going to quickly go to the chat and read a couple of these. We actually got New Plays is jumping in, so thanks for joining us. Let's read Jakester's memory first. He got into Mario through the red-colored Wii that came with his new Super Mario Brothers Wii, and him and his sister just enjoyed having a bunch of chaos as we played and continued to like it ever since. That's awesome. So, Barry, you got another one?
Yeah, so my next one, because again, I still didn't have a Nintendo at this time, when during the summer, my family, we had a bungalow colony that was up in upstate New York, and every summer we went up there. And it was, typical 80s, going out and playing in the woods and the streams and catching fish and frogs and, swimming and playing sports and just, what's this video game type thing? So we were always up there, and naturally when other kids came, a lot of them did bring their Nintendo. And while I saw The Wizard, but naturally it wasn't actually my first experience with Mario 3. My first experience was when a kid had it up at the bungalows, and I was like, what's this? I've never seen this Mario. Now, I'd played Mario 1 and 2 tons of times from friends' houses, but I'd never seen this in Mario 3. It just blew me away. And of course, the kids that owned it were like, oh, I'm going to show you where all the warp whistles are, and I'm going to go through and kill Bowser. And I looked at them because they were older. They were, probably 5-6 years older than I was at the time. Like, they were gaming gods. Like, oh my God, like, this is incredible. So of course, I would try, and a lot of them took advantage of me. Like, I'll let you play for a quarter. So, I'm playing, like an arcade, like, here, I'll pay you a quarter to play this game, like, sure, why not? Like, I paid a quarter to play Street Fighter and stuff. Why not put a quarter for this? And it made me want it so much more. So that when anytime I went home and I played, because I was still Atari and Commodore at the time, it made those games feel so passe. Like, this is nothing compared to like that. Like, and we always want what we don't have. You know what it is? Where the grass is always greener on the other side, as they say. And so it was like, oh, I absolutely, like, if I had this, man, I would play no other game. Like, in reality, I would get bored eventually, like any other video game. But to me, it was like, oh my God, I just have to have this game. I really have to play, Mario 3. And eventually I did, obviously get my NES, and I did get Mario 3, and I ran through it. And, I remembered a lot of the hints and stuff, because after that incident, I would visit friends that from my school local, and we would have like Nintendo Power Out, and we would do all like the matching games, and like there was all tips for that, and we would run through it countless times, and we just had fun with it. It was an experience. And it's always going to be a special game just because of that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Barry, it's funny that you actually mentioned my second memory, and it's another movie. It is The Wizard. So Jakester helped us out and said that Ninja Turtles came first. That was in, trying to find that part in the chat.
90 versus 93.
90 versus 93. So back 1 year before Turtles came out was The Wizard, came out in 89. And I was a huge fan of the Wonder Years. So I already liked Fred Savage, and Fred Savage going, all the way across the country to California to to play in a video game tournament was just like little Steve was just mind blown in that. So I was like 7 years old when it came out, and just like that was the dream. Like as soon as I realized they had video game tournaments, that's the dream. And I love Jakester's wondering what the Wizard is. Okay, so Wizard is, like I said, 1989 film. Fred Savage from the Wonder Years. You may know his younger brother Ben Savage from Boy Meets World. Both big fans of both of those shows. But anyway, so he and his brother, I think it's like his half brother, if I'm remembering correctly, they are going across country. I think it was
his full brother.
Was his full brother?
Oh, no,
okay.
Wait, no, it was. There was another family there. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was a half brother.
Yeah, because there's some family turmoil, and they're
it's
on the run.
It's not a kids movie at all.
No, it's really it draws you in, and actually it's really cool. But there's this. Essentially, it was a big commercial for Nintendo and specifically Super Mario Brothers 3, because it all culminates in this gigantic tournament that the special game at the very end, the final two players that are in the very end of the tournament have to play this game that they've never seen before, and it's Super Mario Brothers 3, which is really funny because they already know about the warps and the whistles and all those different things like that. And he's like telling them from the audience, they're like shouting out what to do. I'm like, this is a brand new game. You've never seen this before, but oh well. It doesn't matter. It's still great. And but yeah, it's great. If you haven't seen it yet, so that's a big memory from my childhood as well, as just watching The Wizard. I've watched it so many times. I own it on VHS and DVD. I think I have a digital copy as well somewhere on one of my things. But it's so fun, and that was one of the things that when my wife and I back in 2013, no, was it 2011, 2012? No, it's 2011. Oh, that's interesting. I'll get to why that's interesting in just a bit. But that was when we went to the Wii Games tournament, 2010, maybe 2010, 2011. That was so cool for me to be a finalist in that, because my mind immediately went back to The Wizard and watching that as a little kid going, I want to be in one of those giant video game tournaments at some point that's sponsored by like Nintendo or something like that. And it was a really cool kind of full circle moment for me to be able to do that. So yeah, The Wizard, if you haven't watched it, that'd be put it on your watch list for sure. It's from 1989, so give it a little slack, but I think it's still great.
It's got the Power Glove in it.
It does.
So bad.
So bad. And it did such a great job. Like, I wanted the Power Glove after that thing. Let's see. Jared said that he always remembers having random bouts where his friends would come over and they try to finish all of the Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers 3 together. And he remembers taping it on a VHS when he was little. I don't know if he was talking about Super Mario Brothers the movie or taping his the gaming sessions, but either way, that's awesome. So Jesse Glenn also said that he's breastfed on Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2 and some of his earliest memories. 1 and 3. Sorry, yes, 1 and 3, and skipped over 2. There's various reasons why, maybe. And 64 was a big one for me, and Odyssey is his favorite. So, all right, Barry, what's your third and final one?
So for me, it's kind of a two-part. The first part comes with seeing the first commercials for Super Mario World. Really Super Nintendo, which they heavily advertised with Super Mario World. In fact, they even showed you beating Super Mario World in the freaking trailer or the commercial, which I thought was hilarious and interesting marketing. But it was one of those things where my first thought when I saw that was like, I'm going to get that game and I'm going to become the master of it. I'm going to show those other older kids, like who had Mario 3, even though I didn't get a Super Nintendo for a while and I wound up playing that at my friend's house. But probably the most impactful, really other than Mario 1, was when we started getting the magazines in talking about the Ultra 64. And again, no internet, and we started seeing pictures of Mario 64 and talking about how it could work, my friends and I, and wondering what it was like. And then I got word from somebody that our local Toys R Us had a kiosk, and I was able to convince my mother to take me to Toys R Us, and I stood in line and I got to play Mario 64 a couple months before it came out. Nice. And I was just blown away, and I wanted nothing more than to get that game. And my mother was very much against me getting video games unless I got like straight A's. And I did eventually, but as a kid, I didn't get straight A's. So I convinced her to let me rent an N64 from Blockbuster for my birthday, because my birthday happened right after the launch, because it launched on September 30th, and my birthday is early October. And I got the 64 with Mario 64 for a weekend. I had two friends come over. They brought Pilot Wing 64, and we did nothing that whole weekend but play. And it was phenomenal. And I didn't get Mario 64 myself years later. Even when I got an N64, I didn't get Mario 64 because I had already beat it 100%. I went over to a friend's house, and talking about recording, we actually recorded on VHS us getting 120 stars. It was like, this is going to be our video guide. And we made a video guide on VHS. Not that we could share it with people, but we just wanted to document our video guide in case we ever needed it. And we did. And it took us 2 VHS tapes to record getting all 120 stars.
Do you still have it?
I don't know. I wish I did. I really do. I wish I did. That would be. I mean, we didn't talk. Keep in mind, there's no talking. It's not like we could record gameplay and listen to like younger me talking about it. It was just recording from the TV, because that's what we did at the time. There was no recording any other mediums.
So you hooked it up through the camera or the VHS, the VCR?
VCR.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You didn't put. I totally would have just put the camera right on the TV or something.
No.
You probably get a lot better quality than I would have.
Yeah, we took the 64, routed to the VCR to the TV, so therefore it recorded that way. And it was just one of those really cool things. And obviously, now I have Mario 64, and I just ran through it last year with 3D All-Stars again, and it'll always be special just because of that wow moment, that introduction to the 3D, and just how many memories, and just exploring those worlds. I mean, even when you got all the stars, I would just explore those worlds, especially because I didn't have it at home. But it was just magical. The Mushroom Kingdom truly has always been a magical place.
It's true. My final memory that I want to talk about tonight was in 2011. So that was why I referenced 2011 earlier. It was, I believe, my first time at E3, and I had the amazing opportunity to meet several different people connected to Nintendo, and being able to see my first E3 presentation back when they still did that, and everything was just incredible, and ranks up there in terms of my gaming memories. One of my favorite things was going to E3 the very first time. But another thing that I didn't even think that I would be doing, but it definitely happened, was that I met the voice of Mario, Charles Martinet. And so I think there you can actually see there's good reflection or not. So if you're watching the video version, you see a photo of 10 years ago, Steve, with Charles Martinet. And that was so awesome. It was a total of probably like 3 minutes of my life. But it was just so cool to be able to talk with Mario. And, he, of course, talked in his normal voice. But yeah, it was so cool to just to be able to, like, that character that I had ever, like, I that I just heard over and over and over again in my life. Like, all of a sudden, like, there's the voice of him right in front of me, and I shook his hand and I took a photo with him, and that was just, it was so cool. And Charles Martinet is a fantastic human being. He's incredibly nice. If you think about, like, all the joy and everything that he brings to that voice of Mario, that is him. That's just his persona, and he's such a great guy. And it was awesome, even though it was, like I said, only like 3 minutes of my life. That memory will always be there, because he was such a great guy and such a really cool, iconic person in my life and so many people's lives who love Mario. So it was awesome to meet the one and only Charles Martinet. Going back to the chat, looks like, let's see, I think we talked about, Jared also talked about his memory was, isn't that old. It was actually the Wii U launch, meeting Reggie and getting a copy of New Super Mario Bros. U and playing it early in the morning after taking 2 trains to get home, or going to the Mario Run talk in New York and getting to see Miyamoto in person. So that's really awesome as well.
You forgot one. You got to scroll up more. There's another one.
Scroll there. Oh yeah, Noobs also, Noob Plays also said that his Mario memory is that he got a red Wii for Christmas and played through the entire Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Brothers game with his mom. Loved the Mario games ever since. That is
awesome.
That's really cool.
Cherish those memories. Some of us can't do that anymore with our mothers, and that is awesome. I wish I bonded with my mother that way. She was the polar opposite. She hated video games.
Yeah. My mom sometimes played. My dad was the one that played. And I remember it was just a few years ago when I showed him Mario Maker for the first time, and kind of totally blew his mind. I was like, oh yeah, remember those levels we played when I was a kid? Now I can make them myself. Jakester also says that his memory was just loving New Super Mario Bros. 2 and the Gold Flower, and a couple years later just playing with his sister on 3D World with Catsuit. Loads of power-ups. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's most of the memories. Feel free to shout at me in the chat if you forgot, or if I forget you. Jesse said, yeah, Charles Martinet is also the narrator in Runner 3. So if you haven't played Runner 3, Charles Martinet narrates the whole thing, which is so cool to like have him come in there as well. And then Jakester said he also, his friend almost had the chance to meet him at Gamescom. I'm assuming it was Miyamoto that they're talking about. That was the last one in there. Or maybe Charles Martinet. Anyway, if it's Reggie, Charles Martinet, or Miyamoto, all of them would be awesome people to meet for sure, because they just have so strong connections to our childhood. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, if you didn't get a chance to share your memory yet, throw it in the chat or throw it in the comments down below. We would love to hear about all your Mario memories. But let's move into some news. Barry, we're getting a little Animal Crossing update in just a couple days. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so Nintendo this morning actually announced that, hey, there's an Animal Crossing update coming, I think, March 18th. It's really kind of interesting because this is going to be the 1-year anniversary update. And shortly after the game came out, there was a mock direct with all these quality of life improvements that people wanted. There were just tons of them, from being able to craft multiple items at a time, being able to see where you're going to dig before you dig, to be able to see how much inventory space you have before you pick things up. Just some basic quality of life. And the one I've always wanted is not be able to pick things up unless you're in designer mode. because I can't tell you how many times I accidentally pick up things and it frustrates me.
Mhm.
Well, all those things you would think after a year, Nintendo would maybe finally give it to us. Nope, none of those things are happening. So we're getting some other stuff. The first thing is the Animal Crossing Sanrio collaboration is coming. The Amiibo cards are going to be Target exclusive. They are going to be re-released at the end of March, or for Americas, the first time. However, if you do have the cards from Japan or Europe, you can start inviting those special visitors to your campsite, and you can get some special furniture that's themed after Sanrio characters like Hello Kitty, Cinnamon Roll, and Pom Pom Purin. If you love those characters, this is a perfect addition for you, and great to finally see these amiibo come over to the States. For me, I think the biggest update is the update to the custom design app. So the custom design app is getting 2 updates. You have to purchase them at the Nook Stop, but the first one is called Custom Design Pro Editor Plus. And what's really cool about this is you get not only 4 new pro design styles, you get 100 additional slots for creations, 50 custom and 50 pro. This is huge. I am full on custom. Many people who love custom designs fill up 50 really quickly, especially if you're trying to do some kind of theme stuff on your island. So that additional 50 is huge. And for those that like decorating clothes and making their own outfits, 50 more is great there. The other thing is that you can now access the custom designs portal, which you can find normally in Able Sisters store, directly on the custom design app. So you no longer have to go to the Able Sisters. And if they've already closed for the evening, you don't have to go, crap, I can't get that new design tonight. I got to either change my clock or go tomorrow. You can now do it from your app. So that is a huge quality of life improvement. That is, to me, the best thing. For the 1-year anniversary, they are going to send us a gift. It is a first anniversary cake. It is going to come to your mailbox as a thank you. So a free item if you want cake. There's going to be new seasonal items available because it's spring. These are in Nook Shopping, where you go to the special items or the Able Sisters. The Whoopee Cushion is coming on March 26th to the April 1st for April Fool's Day. I really hope you could put that around and your villagers would just randomly sit on it and make fart sounds. I really hope.
I'm gonna get
my whole
Tom Nook
island's
to
gonna
sit
be
on it.
littered. I'm going to litter the island with that. There's special prom theme items and clothing, which is coming April 1st to the 30th. That's in Able Sisters. Forsythia Tree for Tree Planting Day, April 1st to the 10th. And a Cool Globe for Nature Day, which is April 15th to the 22nd. So grab those because once they're gone, you'll have to probably wait a year to get them again. Also, an exclusive for Nintendo Switch Online members, there was a Nook Inc. silk rug that's already there. You can purchase it if you have Nintendo Switch Online. But now they're going to add a Nintendo Switch Lite in 4 colors that you will be able to purchase and get as an exclusive. So if you want a Switch Lite for your house or your island, make sure to do that. They also wanted to let people know as a reminder that the haunting holiday of the aerating balloons is coming back with the scariest mascot. That's right, Zipper is coming back for Bunny Day. That is happening. April 4th is when he will be there, but it starts March 28th. And you can find the hidden eggs all over your islands, including the air raids in the sky. So be prepared for that. I want that fish. Nope. Better get it beforehand because you're getting a water egg. You'll also be able to earn Nook points with Nook Link. Yes, Nintendo has not forgotten about the Switch Online Smart App. They're actually doing something with it where you can actually save up Nook points and trade them for in-game items using the app. So I don't know if there's going to be brand new items with that, or it's just other items as another way to get items per day. But hey, they haven't forgotten that. And finally, they're introducing something and promptly taking it away. That is the Animal Crossing New Horizons Island Tour Creator. It's a way for you to show off your island pretty much. It starts March 24th. It allows you to take pictures, videos, update or upload them from the Switch console, and you go upload them to the Island Tour Creator site. You can create then digital posters and special tour videos, highlight your island, make it look appealing, and you can then share them and all that. And that sounds really great. Again, it's a wonderful thing from Nintendo, especially for those creative people, except that was only going to be available for a limited time for whatever reason, because Nintendo. So I hope you really don't like it that much, or you better get your video in quickly, because Nintendo giveth and Nintendo taketh away. But this version update will go live on March 18th worldwide.
Nice. And also the Build-A-Bear things are coming soon. So
yeah,
sure
Build-A-Bear is coming
there.
Soon.
I really don't know what I think about this. Oops, I just realized I forgot to take that off. So hey, happy Mario Day again. I don't know what I think about this, because I think that some of this is cool and everything, but I was really hoping, I think, for more. For a 1 year anniversary. I think some of those other, they bring some quality of life things in there, but for the most part, it's not the stuff that a lot of people are wanting. And not that this stuff is bad, but like there's some other things that I think we would like more. And I mean, that's sure, it's cool. Give us a cake. But how about you are able to, build more than one thing at a time? Or like you said, like having to constantly put down the thing that I just picked up on accident is just so annoying. And I think there's still some of those like small things that I still find very annoying about Animal Crossing. Like for instance, like when I go to, if I have a shovel in my hand, or any tool really, and I walk up to a door and I push the button to go inside the door, sometimes it just randomly just hits the building with the tool that I have. Why in the world would I want to do that? Just think, like, put the algorithm in there and just like go ahead of me, Nintendo. Like, I would never want to do that. Obviously, I was trying to open the door. I wasn't trying to hit the building with my tool. Just let me open the door. Like, why is that a thing? So like, cool, you gave us a birthday cake, but I want those little things that like could really improve my time with the game. So, and the island tour thing is cool, but yeah, why is it only going to last for just a short time? Like, maybe they're just testing it out. I don't know, but it seems like a big thing to only put in there for just a short amount of time. So, I don't know. I think I'm just left scratching my head. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I am too. When I saw that, I was like, ooh, this is what we've been waiting for. It's a 1 year anniversary. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. And when I read it, I was like, okay, there's some good things, but really, this is all you got? Like, there's so many things we would like to see that would just make the game better. It would be cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people, our islands are done. Like, we're happy. Not everybody wants to redecorate the island all the time. Give us another island, or a smaller island. Like, you had Tortimer's Island in New Leaf, and you had the GBA Island in the original. Give us another little island that we can go to. Even make it smaller, and we can make our own little paradise and make like a casino or something, like, we go to an island getaway casino or something like that. Just have some kind of expansions, especially considering you only get one island per Switch. So if you have multiple people on only one Switch, you're still only getting that one island. So let some extra creativity go. And I would say, what, they probably could do it, and they probably can. But I mean, my island lags in certain areas where I don't even want to go to them, because I know it's going to be slow running. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, the frame rate is going to chug to like 10 a second, and it's going to give me a little bit of a headache. But that would help alleviate. Hey, Absolutely. You don't have to have everything in one cluster. Have a little smaller area. Make a chain of islands. You make a quest line to unlock them. Make it something with, KK has to do something, or Tom has to do something, and obviously pay for them. Sure, that's the name of the game in Animal Crossing. Give me something to do with my 12 million bell that I'm just sitting on,
Right. Or your 12 million Mario coins you're talking about earlier.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what I thought of when you were talking about that earlier in the podcast, is like, what do you do with that stuff? Like, it'd be awesome to have a separate island there you can just play around with things and not have to like mess up your design that you've really worked on. Now, and like people like me, like mine's just okay. There's nothing really special about it, but Barry's is very detailed and very organized, exactly how you want it. And so if you wanted to add some extra Mario thing, that means probably something else has got to go. And that, like, what do you do about that? It'd be cool to have another place to kind of play around. and we don't have that yet, or will
Yeah.
we ever?
Probably never. They don't need to. It's selling like hotcakes. See, that's the
true.
thing with the game selling so well. They don't need quality of life. You know when they're going to start doing the quality of life? When the usership dips down. When they're like, hey, we're bleeding users. People have stopped doing it. We need people to come back to the game. Here you go. It's maybe too little too late, but that's when it's going to be implemented.
Yeah. Yeah. Jared also said he wants to do like a treasure hunt island where you have to go around and solve puzzles for rewards and stuff like that. I've been wanting something like that from the very beginning, like a mini game island, a treasure hunt island, something like that, where you also get the ability to go there with your friends and have a cool online experience. So you can do it local as well. But I think especially in the pandemic world that we live in, be really cool to have that place where you can kind of retreat to digitally and play some fun games together. And you know, the possibilities are endless for something like that. So yeah, I don't know why we're not seeing stuff like that. I mean, like you said, it's you know, the game's already selling like crazy, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it's hard because the game, you pay one price for the game, and so
Yep.
how do they even know what the user base is really doing? Are they enjoying it still or not? Because unless they just actually pay attention to what we're saying and videos, maybe people streaming and stuff like that online. But other than that, it's not like a pay service, and not I don't want it to be a subscription service for Animal Crossing, but stuff like that can give you that feedback loop to let us know, the user base actually enjoys this, or they do want more, they're dropping off, things like that. And I think that's a benefit of something like that.
Yeah. It'd be cool if we can get a second island with another 10 villagers, because if you think about it, Animal Crossing has a ridiculous amount of villagers. I mean, there are 4 sets of Amiibo cards that are 100 each, and granted, there's a few doubles like Isabelle, and then there's an additional 50, the Hello Amiibo or Welcome Amiibo set, plus the Sanrio cards, which is an extra 6, and then there's new villagers from New Horizons, and I think maybe some from Pocket Camp that don't even have cards. You're talking hundreds of villagers, and you get 10. And I know some people like let them rotate. Others, they get their 10 and they're happy with those 10, but they don't get to experience anybody else. And there's more than 10 different types of animals, so you can't even say, well, I want one of every type of animal. So it would be cool if we can get a second island and be able to get an additional 10 villagers and see those characters, because there are some fan favorites, and those are fan favorites, but they're only fan favorites for certain people, because some people never experience them.
Yep.
It's like, who's that character? Oh, everyone seems to like them. Well, I've never heard of them. I have no experience with them. I have no love for them.
Right.
You're doing a Build-A-Bear for it. Well, why should I give you money? I have no idea who that is.
That's a good point. Build-A-Bear, are they going to have them for all of them, or just the major ones?
Oh, no.
But that person,
Just the major ones.
That one's never came into my island, though. Like you said, like, I don't have the attachment to that one. Jakester says, why does he feel like Pocket Camp has more interesting things to do than New Horizons? Sometimes that's the case. They just added some new stuff to Pocket Camp the other day, didn't they? So,
yeah, it's because that is a free-to-play game where people are paying money, and when people are paying money, they take some of that money and they reinvest it in the game. That's why people pay for MMOs. That money not only goes to keep servers running smoothly, but they also use it to reinvest in the game to add new content, thus keeping players paying. Yeah. So that's the reason. Once Nintendo has your money with New Horizons, they have your money. Whether you're playing it or it's sitting on a shelf, they have your money.
Yep, it's true. It's true. Jared also says he wants Zelda villagers from the 3DS one, which would be kind of fun. I totally forgot that that was the case. So I don't know. I guess we can still hold on to maybe we'll get some of those updates, but I don't know. It's looking like it's probably not going to happen, Barry. Maybe in the next Animal Crossing. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, we got some headlines to run through, several different stories that just want to make sure that you guys know about. Some more information on this stuff and more on NintendoFuse.com. You can also check out our Discord and chat about all this news and everything. But Barry, kick us off. Tell us about an event that's going to be coming in just a couple days.
Are we going with that one, huh? That's not coming in a couple days.
Is it in a couple days? Is it just a few days?
No.
Okay.
No, not.
Do we actually have a date for it?
No dates. So
Barry,
last year,
tell us about this thing.
tell us about this thing. Last year, with the lack of E3, we had a couple new shows pop up. One of them being New Game Plus Expo, which we just had this year, which was great. Another one that came out actually around the same time was from Wholesome Games. They did a Wholesome Direct. It featured indie titles, and many of them were PC. To start with, that eventually found their way to Switch, with a few of them actually being on the Switch as well. But they made an announcement that the Wholesome Direct will also return again this year. It's going to be a full-length showcase packed with exclusive footage, developer interviews, and announcements from cute and cozy indie games. So we don't know when it's happening yet, but it is happening, which is just really cool.
Nice. We also got some information about a new game. You guys already know because I talked about it earlier that I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. And we got information about a little game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And it seems to be kind of a sequel-ish, like a spiritual sequel to Turtles in Time. Kind of follows that old style of play. And the trailer that they put off has this oozes, get it, oozes, the cartoon from the 80s and 90s is just like I love it, every second of it. And then it gets into the gameplay and we see it looks a lot like the arcade style, the Turtles in Time style, and it's supposed to be it looks so great. I can't wait to play it, but we don't really know much more than that. I think it went live on Steam. I think you can get it, you can pre-order it on Steam, but we don't know anything else about what platforms it's going to be on. So hopefully it's going to be on Nintendo Switch, but we really don't know yet.
Now back to something we talked about last time, which was my number one picks to get into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is Pyra Mythra. However, if you listen to this podcast, you know I never actually said Pyra Mythra. I actually said Rex and Alt with Adam and Pyra Mythra as assist characters similar to Rosalina and Luma or the Ice Climbers. Well, Sakurai has stated why they chose Pyra Mythra over Rex. When they were looking into it, the very first thing was obviously Rex, but with so many characters on screen, it would just be very hard to do, and it would really push the Switch because two people move as a single group when you deal with the Ice Climbers. But if 8 people take Ice Climbers, that's now 16 characters. And if you have this with Rex and Pyra, it would just be that much harder to do because Rex and Pyra would move independently as opposed to along the same lines. So in order to have Rex as the main fighter with Pyra overseeing, it would be very difficult. And the design was so complex that they would have had to redo a lot of things. So because of this, they just decided to change between Pyra and Mythra and have them swap between.
Interesting. We do have one event that is coming up really soon on March 18th. Square Enix Presents presentation has been announced for, like I said, March 18th. So just a few days from now, a couple days from now. It's going to be about 40 minutes long, and it's going to air at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and that is 1 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. in the UK, 6 p.m. in Europe. We just know that it's going to be showing off some of their upcoming games, and we don't really have a whole lot to go on except for it's probably going to be a little Balan Wonderland, which I know is going to make Jakester incredibly happy. That's tongue in cheek, totally. He's not a big fan of the demo there, coming up on March 18th. Be sure to join our Discord so that you guys can talk about it while it's happening and after the fact as well. Oh, you're muted, Barry.
Oh, yes. Finally, after more than a decade, Nintendo's official support forums appear to be shutting down. Apparently, there some people did get an email, and the email says, after more than a decade of hosting a fun, safe community where passionate Nintendo fans and new players alike can support each other with answers to technical questions about Nintendo products and services, we've decided to close the Nintendo support forums. Going forward, we will focus on the many other Nintendo support options that have greatly expanded over the last decade. So I don't know if this is something you knew even existed still, or you used it. I personally didn't, but like many things, Nintendo giveth and Nintendo taketh away.
We were joking earlier that it might be happening on March 31st because that's when everything else dies. Yeah, I remember the insider forums. Like, were you big on the insider forums, Barry?
No, but I remember, what was it called now? I forget what it was called. It's on the tip of my tongue. The old school Nintendo, where it had like an elevator on the side, and Fulgore was in the elevator, and it went up and down, and there was like message boards and live chat with other Nintendo fans going on. I almost say Lodestone, but that's Final Fantasy 14. It was a Loud House or something like along those lines. I forget what it was called, but that was like the last time I used Nintendo's community, and it was great then, and they took that away too.
So hard. I was very upset when they took the insider forums down, and I remember people saying, "Well, we still got the support forums." I'm like, that is not the same. don't act like that's the same. That's for when you go for customer support, and it's still not that great. People actually started like posting just regular things, and then they started taking them down. But yeah, so that's going away as well. We'll see. I mean, they took away Miiverse, or is it Miiverse? Is that what it's called on Wii?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they took that away to all these different ways to kind of talk about that Nintendo runs themselves. It's got to be a lot to keep, ties on all that stuff, and moderate it well and things like that too. So for some reason, I don't blame them, but at the same time, I know it's hard for some people. But that's why, why, Barry? That's why you follow NintendoFuse on social media, because we have no plans of going away on March 31st or any day. And you can also join our Discord, which also has no plans of going away. So that's where you can go to talk about all your Nintendo stuff. But before we wrap it up today, of course, we're going to have to talk. We need to talk about what is coming out over the next week of games. Several games that are coming out over this next week. Beach Buggy Racing 2. I know that you're really excited about that, Barry. But there are some other games. They're going to be really, they're both, as I feel like every week is the case, that there's like some of these very independent games that are kind of just ports from mobile games, and then you also have like some bigger games that are coming out. Some of those little ones like Space Otter Charlie. I don't even know if that's good, but it looks funny, and it looks kind of fun. But that's coming out over this next week. Raiders of the Lost Island.
Is it $15 fun though? Is it really?
Probably not.
Fun?
Probably not. Like $15 for that. Yeah, maybe $2, but that's as cheap as you can go right now. $1.99. And did they cut that off at $1.99? This is the cheapest you can make a game now, which is ridiculous. But yeah, there are a lot of games that I have not heard of. But there is Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville Complete Edition, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. That's coming out on March 19th. Tales from the Borderlands comes out on March 23rd for $24.99. We're actually going to go ahead a little bit because, like I said, we don't have another podcast till March 30th. So you can also get Story of Seasons. Pioneers of Olive Town comes out on the 23rd as well. So several big games in there mixed in with the other kind of games that maybe you've never heard of, but that's the cool thing. Like Barry, like some of the games that you played this week, like I'd never heard of, but you really enjoyed them. So, if you're looking for something, maybe just kind of go through and randomly pick some game that kind of seems cool. I think one of the biggest things that we're kind of missing out on is the ability to see like the other people that rate the games. Like you can't see that stuff, but I guess that's why you got our Discord and stuff like that. Monster Hunter Rise comes out on the 26th. Again, Balan Wonderland comes out. Wonder World, sorry, comes out on the 26th as well. And the Game of Life 2. I don't know why there's a sequel to the Game of Life, but it comes out on March 29th for
It should be called the Game of the Afterlife.
For a regular price of $30. It's on sale for $27, but $30 for the Game of Life 2. I don't know. Barry, what are you going to be playing over the next couple weeks? Any of these games or any other ones?
Honestly, this is the first week where I'm truly not sure. February was so jam-packed with 4 huge games that I was looking forward to. And it's now the middle of March, and I just finished playing through those 4 games. And that started at the very beginning of February. So taking a little bit of a breather, taking care of work and stuff like that. Debating if I want to start another marathon. Looking ahead, I'm not sure when the next must-play game is going to enter the arena. Maybe it might be new Pokemon Snap, which is April, so I have some time. So I might just look through the library and just go ooh, what's this? Maybe I'll give this a shot. And sometimes I find some fantastic games that way that I'm like, let me give this a shot, and gets on my game of the year list. And sometimes I get a game and I play it for 20-30 minutes and just it's not for me. So I really don't know this time.
Yeah. I'll gonna definitely be beating Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon before next podcast. I think I only have a level or 2, so I think I'll have time to beat that. But I'm actually gonna be traveling a little bit, so I'll be playing my Switch on the go, which has not happened in a really long time. And I might end up checking out. I'm interested in Overcooked All You Can Eat, which comes out on March 23rd. I know Overcooked 1 and 2 are good, but I don't know, is it too soon? Is this just a cash grab or throwing another one, or if this is actually going to be worth picking up?
This isn't the third one. This is 1 and 2 with new stuff.
Oh, okay. So
it's a best of overall.
That's
an all-in-one package.
Okay. Yeah, blended together and remastered. So maybe this is the way, because I think I have, again, I think I got Overcooked 2, I think on Xbox Live or Gold or whatever, but I don't own them on Switch. Maybe this is the direction to go to actually get both of them. And it's cool because it actually has online. So maybe. Probably get back into Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, continue to make some progress in that, and of course checking out the Animal Crossing stuff and everything, even though I'm not overly thrilled about it. Hey, it's more stuff, more digital things.
Have you gone to Nintendo's Island yet? Because that's one of the challenges, is to go to their island, and you have, I think, until next week to do it, or I think maybe March 26th or something to do it. So if you haven't done that yet,
I guess I need to do that. Just hop on and
it's actually kind of cool. They've got a little Mario section where it's a little maze, and you're going through a level, and it eventually ends at the flagpole and all that stuff.
Nice. All right, well, maybe I'll check it out. I need more things to do in Animal Crossing anyhow, because I'm not a completionist like you guys are. So sometimes I get on there and it's really just to do my little things and move on. So maybe I'll go check out the Nintendo Island. Barry, I know you had a packed week last week with some different podcasts and stuff you were on. Want to talk about those? Anywhere else we could find you, and anything else coming up over the next couple weeks?
Yeah, it's another packed week actually. So Midwest Gaming Classic TV is going to be showing off the games that we put out with Premium Edition Wednesday. So tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Sundays it's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be on their Twitch. It's going to be the host playing, and I'll be in the chat, so I won't be vocal, but at least I'll be there for a bit of the time. And then Thursdays we're going to be recording the next Switch Mania Playcast. So I have a very busy week, and that's on top of the fact that we actually launched our games now. So the games are out, people are getting them, and lots of communication, lots of fun seeing people get their games and playing their games. And it's surreal because this is something we've been working on since, at least I've been a part of it since like almost a year ago at this point, and now people are getting it, people are playing it, people are giving us feedback and loving it, and it's just amazing seeing people say like, I got one of your games, I got it, it's so good, I just bought the next game, like just because I like what you did, and like that's awesome because the whole team is really sweat, blood, and tears to try and get these products out there into people's hands, and it is so much more work than I ever thought, and unfortunately, because it's learning, we had a wonderful screw up where between our store and our shipping facility, where they have two different SKUs per order. So because of that, tracking hasn't been updated, and they won't talk. So we are actually taking time out of our day to manually update everyone's tracking, and we have thousands of orders that we have to update one by one by one. And of course, we've had a couple screw ups because when you do so many orders, you start getting cross-eyed, and so it's been a lot of work, but it's been also really rewarding to hear from everybody. And just want to say thank you for those that have picked up your games, and if you haven't yet, premiumeditiongames.com, pick them up because they are selling out. In fact, since we launched, the sales have gone up because people are now like, oh, these are legit, this is real, I want to get this isn't vaporware. And we are running out, which is good because that's how we're reinvesting the money back into putting out more games.
Yeah, you don't need a bunch of inventory. You need the money so you can make more.
yeah, and we're all doing this out of love. I mean, like we're choosing not to take a paycheck to reinvest the money to get more games out to people. So that's cool. Just be patient with us, though. We're doing the best we can.
Jesse said he got Super Blood Hockey today and done very well. So. That's awesome.
Yeah, very well made. Good. I'm glad you got it, Jesse. I hope you enjoy it.
That's so cool.
And one of those cool things we're doing, and I can't take credit for this. This is one of the co-creators' ideas. Jeff from who I do the playcast with, fantastic guy. He came up with this idea to do challenge patches for the games, where inside the games, open up your game. There's a card. The card gives you a challenge on it. Do the challenge in the game and take a picture of the challenge being done on your game, or on your Switch, with the challenge card and your physical copy showing, like, so you don't just like copy and paste a picture. Here, I did it. Like, you have to prove, yes, I really did it. And he is sending out a patch for you per game. There's a patch per game with a different challenge. And then on top of that, if you do an unboxing video, which is always cool, I love seeing unboxing videos, and you let us know, we're going to send you a logo patch for free just for doing this, as our little way of saying thank you. So we want to try and make things great with the community and really get everybody involved. And it's awesome to see people appreciating their games and getting that and opening it up and just doing the challenges, because so many people, we get our games and we just don't open them. I mean, it's just, we have too many games or not enough time. And so many, like the limited games, like, oh, I'm going to get it, I'm going to seal it away, and that's good. My kid's going to go to college on that game. Like, we want you to play and have fun and enjoy. So to see people actually opening their games, enjoying it, that's what games are about. Play them, have fun.
Absolutely. Well, Barry, I know we're going to chat in between podcasts, but we'll miss talking games on the podcast next week. But we'll be back on March 30th, the day before everything just dies in terms of the world of Mario. So enjoy it while you can. But like I said, we'll be back on March 30th. But if you are like that's too long, you can do a couple things. One, you can go back to old previous episodes, and you can check out all the 224 episodes before this one. There's a lot there over the last 11 12 years now almost that we've been doing this podcast, but you can also join us on social media, just at NintendoFuse, and you can join us on there and talk about other stuff. And we've got this, we put up a poll the other day on Twitter, and it's kind of take a lot of responses on this poll, trying to take guesses on where we think the next Nintendo system is going to go. Is it going to be a Switch Pro? Is it going to be Switch 2, Switch, new Switch, or something else? And we had, it seems like Switch Pro is the one that's kind of taken the lead so far, but a lot of people thrown in their own responses as well. Super Switch, Barry threw out there, and seems to be a lot of people kind of jumping on that bandwagon. But then, we got some others like new Super Switch 2U that, we never know what's going to happen. So that's what you can get when you follow us on social media. And then you can also join our Discord. And like I said, when the Square Enix event goes live on the 18th, you can join in our events channel on there and talk all about that and all the other things. It's a great place to just talk video games 24/7 and just jump in there. The link is on the screen, but also in the show notes and the description here on YouTube. So yeah, just shout out to all our growing population of gamers there on the NintendoFuse Discord. Barry, it's been great to talk with you. We miss Greg, but it's been great to chat with you guys, you and the chat tonight. It's been awesome. So, but yeah, episode 226 will be recorded live on March 30th. If you haven't joined us live, be sure to do that. But until we chat in a couple weeks, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.